My name is Edward Hunter, and this is my AOC experience. I fell off a ladder while doing cable work in August of 2011 and crushed my right ankle. I was wearing a heavy tool belt and all my weight came down. I fell about 10 to 15 feet straight down and had a compound fracture of the tibia and fibula. So both the bones in my leg, my shin bone and the other bone, were broken. And compound fracture means it actually popped out of the skin. So I was there on the ground and had to get somebody to bring me my phone and then get the ambulance to come and get me, and they took me to the emergency room at Athens Regional, and that's where I met Dr. Ogburn. And from that moment, I can't explain it, but I always felt like I was in good hands, and I didn't know him at the time. I know him now, obviously. But he told me, he kept me up to date on what he was doing every time I met with him, and he pulled 6 shards of bone out of my ankle, cleaned the wound, put a wound vac on it, and a temporary fixator, external fixator to hold everything in place. And I had infection, which was complicating the fracture. So I was in for a long convalescence and a lot of surgeries related to repairing the orthopedic part and fixing the infection. So it was a complicated situation, and he handled the whole thing along with my infectious disease doctor, Dr. Visitation, who he worked with to get my infection under control. And let's see, so because of the complicated nature of the injury, I had 13 surgeries. He had to go in and take at different points and take material out of my femur to use to reconstruct my ankle. He had to take material off of the top of my hip bone, my pelvis, to also do that. And he was, I would say that he was creating this as he went, because he's a traumatic specialist, traumatic injury specialist. So in other words, he was creating this fix of my ankle based on what he saw every time he went in. And he was committed to rebuilding my ankle rather than just simply fusing it together and leaving me with a peglet, useless ankle and sending me on my way. He was dedicated to fixing the problem. And I'll always be grateful for that, because I'm going to run in a half marathon probably twice this year. I'm training for that now. I wouldn't have been able to do that with any other procedure that he would have chosen to do, but he chose to stick with me, fix everything, and I'm walking without a limp and without any pain, and I'm running, and so I'm active. I have my leg back, and I attribute that to Dr. Ogburn.